Hello, welcome back everybody to the Blitzburg Coverage Podcast. I'm your host, K Freaking Mac. It has been a very long time since we've done one of these bad boys, so let's get right into it, man. It's been forever. Since today was the first day training camp started, I thought today would be a good day to start this back up. As it's time to, wipe the dust clean off them jerseys. It's almost that time once again. Training camp started today for the Pittsburgh Steelers and multiple NFL teams. And so a lot has happened since our last podcast. Quite a bit has happened. The last time we had spoken, we had traded for DK Metcalf, the draft, schedule came out, things of that nature, and it's been a while, man. So I think it's time to do another one of these, and for today's show, we have a couple things on tap. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers signing with the Steelers since then was a huge move that finally went down. Another big move was the Minkah Fitzpatrick trade for Jalen Ramsey. TJ Watt getting signed. So yeah, let's get right into it, man. So last time we did a show, I previewed our schedule with and without Aaron Rodgers for our little record prediction. And I'd spoken about it all offseason. It was only just a matter of time as far as when. Oh, now it pops up. Whatever. It was only a matter of time as far as when was Aaron Rodgers going to sign. And we finally signed him for like a 1-year, $10 million deal. Brought him in for a 1-year filler. And he's probably going to do a one-and-done type of deal. It'll be interesting to see how that works. He's going to be wearing number 8. And once again, another quarterback is going to be the starter for another season. For the, fourth year, 2022. It was Mitch Trubisky. 2023 was Kenny Pickett. 2024 was Justin Fields. And now here we are in 2025 with Aaron Rodgers. Who would have imagined that, man? A couple of years ago when he left Green Bay, I was interested in getting Aaron Rodgers. But, for whatever reason, him and the Jets just didn't work. My expectations on Aaron Rodgers this year and how he's going to do, I think he'll be steady. I don't think there's going to be as much on his plate as people are anticipating. With the Jets, he was expected to be the savior. And with us, I don't really see him as the savior. I think if we can just get steady quarterback play, I think we'll be okay. Because that's what we've had, sort of, for the past 4 years or so. We were able to get a quarterback room of Mitch Trubisky, Kenny Pickett, and Mason Rudolph to the playoffs. So I guess we've come a little bit farther since then, but not really. This year it's just Aaron Rodgers, Mason Rudolph, and Will Howard. So I think Aaron Rodgers will be okay. I think he'll have some good games. Probably a few bad ones. Because he is 40-some years old. Not as mobile as he used to be. Apparently, he looked good the second half of last year after he really got fully recovered from that torn Achilles. So, I guess from an optimistic viewpoint, he's 2 years removed from that surgery and that injury. So, if he can have some kind of Tom Brady-esque comeback, that'd be amazing. That'd be freaking dope. But I think if Aaron Rodgers can give us around 200 yards, couple touchdowns, interception, or so. I think that's modest production, and I think that's realistic expectations. Considering this team is going to be run first, pass second. Jaylen Warren and Caleb Johnson are going to carry the rock. Don't forget about Kenneth Gainwell either. I think he'll have a small role, maybe a larger role than anticipated for the first month or so, and then maybe they'll ease in Caleb Johnson. But it'll be a three-headed committee, three-headed backfield committee. And so with Rodgers, he's got DK, Calvin Austin III, Robert Woods, and then we'll see what Roman Wilson and Scotty Miller are going to bring to the table, or Ben Skoranek. I don't remember which one they signed, but I know those guys are in there. And then we have Freiermuth, Darnell Washington, and newly traded for Jonnu Smith from the Miami Dolphins. So that'll lead us right into our next topic. The trade that we made a few weeks back. We traded Minkah Fitzpatrick and draft capital for Jalen Ramsey and Jonnu Smith, and I think like a 7th round draft pick. So when let's rewind the clocks back a bit. When the Steelers first announced the trade for Jalen Ramsey, I was psyched. I was absolutely psyched, man. I was like, man, okay. Now I'm starting to see the vision. Now I'm starting to see why we got Darius Slay. I'm starting to see the secondary round out. I like this. The defense is going to be nasty. A few minutes later, we traded away Minkah Fitzpatrick. What? No way, man. Fuck. And then a few minutes later, Steelers also acquired tight end Jonnu Smith from Miami Dolphins. I was like, all right, okay. I mean, I know we were flirting around, but I guess where there's smoke, there's a fire, or however that quote goes. Where there's a fire, there's smoke, whatever. I was really psyched about this at first, and then for a few minutes I was like, fuck, dude, who the fuck's going to play safety besides Deshaun Elliott? I guess Juan Thornhill, but I was like, man, well, I guess for what you do for filling one thing, you make for and compensating for another. So we get a cornerback, Jalen Ramsey, who's on the older side of 30. He got drafted in the year 2016, I want to say. Can play in the slot, can play cornerback outside, safety as well. I mean, because when he came out of Florida State, he was a safety / corner, so he can play a little bit of everywhere. And adding him to that room with Darius Slay, JPJ, Beanie Bishop in the slot, and Corey Trice, it's a pretty solid room, man. I know Darius Slay and Jalen Ramsey are older, but now I'm cool with Darius Slay being a number 2 or 3. Like, I anticipate Ramsey really playing in the slot and probably mixing in Beanie Bishop in there and then having Ramsey back at safety. But the amount of hybrid and flexibility schematics he can bring to the defense, it's going to be awesome. We actually can play man-to-man across the board, bring some disguise blitzes, disguise coverages, fucking just really, hopefully, openly, schematically change some things. Not just fucking rush 4, drop 7, vanilla, basic-ass shit. This shit we did last year. So, I think by adding Jalen Ramsey, that's also going to help JPJ just grow, develop his game. Another guy that's, a Super Bowl champion in Darius Slay, a Super Bowl champion in Jalen Ramsey. I think he's probably still a good corner. Is he as good? Fuck no, but for what he's being asked to do, I think it's good. I mean, you're asking him to be a number 2 / 3. Let him play wherever. If teams want to run 2 wide receiver sets, You can put him at safety next to fucking Deshaun Elliott. Let him just kind of roam. I know he's a bit of a bigger cornerback. Maybe not as fast, but I think he's a physical tackler, and I think he fits this defense perfect, man. I mean, I'm just saying, him and DK Metcalf go back a ways. Competitive. He's going to bring the heat, and, this makes this defense the most expensive defense in the league. So, it sucks losing Minkah. For whatever reason, he just really hasn't made a whole lot of big plays since, 2022. Whether that's schematics, whether we're playing him as a deep safety or whatever, however, for what we were having him do, it just didn't make much sense money-wise. And if we can find a guy cheaper who can do the same things he can do, but maybe a little bit worse for the same price, it just makes sense. So that's why they did it. But, I bought a Mika jersey. It sucks. It's like, fuck, dude, I don't even know if I want to buy any jerseys anymore. It's like, every 2 or 3 years, we just lose players. And it's like, I don't even know who the fuck to buy anymore. It's like, maybe I'll stick to the OG legends. I don't know, but adding Jalen Ramsey was nonetheless a big-time move. Sucks losing Minkah, but, to get something, you got to give a little something. And we also got Jonnu Smith, tight end from the Miami Dolphins, and also formerly of the Tennessee Titans with Arthur Smith, so there is familiarity there. He also was in Atlanta with Arthur Smith, if I'm not mistaken. He comes off of a pretty good season with the Dolphins last year, close to 1,000 yards, almost did double-digit touchdowns, really did well down the second half of the season. He's a smaller tight end, so he's not really going to be used for blocking, but I think of him more as a good receiving threat and kind of our wide receiver-esque move to kind of work in there. He's faster than you think. He's like 6'2", 6'3". He's not a big guy, but he can move fast. He's good with running after the catch, and I fully expect him to be our tight end too. Fuck it. Maybe we'll just run 3 or 4 tight end sets. I don't know. But I definitely think he's going to have a role, whether it's, they can play him a little bit everywhere. He's got good flexibility, and he can move, and he proved to be a valuable player down the stretch for the Miami Dolphins. So I like him, Freiermuth, and Mount Washington. I think that'll be a good room. Darnell Washington's been working on his passing and receiving game, so fuck it. I mean, if we're running 3 tight end sets and then 1 receiver and DK, whatever fucking works. I don't care, man. I mean, this offense just has to find a way to fucking score more points, put more points up, score more points, more touchdowns, fuck it, field goals, first downs, just fucking being more productive. And that's what they were trying to do. We get a cornerback, we get a tight end. Is it the receiver we all probably wanted? No, but I think that just shows that they have a lot of confidence in Roman Wilson stepping up. I think they're looking for big things out of him and Calvin Austin III. So just believe, trust. Obviously, it'd be cool to have a fucking another dope receiver, but we traded Pickens away, and that's just the reality of the situation. So, I think Jonnu should be a good addition. I'm not looking for any crazy numbers, but I think he can get us 5 touchdowns, 600 yards, 500 yards. I think that's modest. That's a modest expectation. So then that left one more thing for the Steelers to do this offseason. So they get DK Metcalf via trade, and they pay him. They trade away George Pickens. They trade away Minkah Fitzpatrick for Jalen Ramsey, for Jonnu Smith. They sign Aaron Rodgers. There was one more thing to do on that checklist, and that was extending TJ Watt, number 90. They did that a few days ago. Highest non-paid quarterback in NFL history again for the second time. And that man is a Steeler. Was happy to hear it finally. Don't want any distractions heading into training camp. Not minicamp, training camp. And they got the deal done. Tomlin said, just get the shit done. Let's fucking go. It's time to work. And they did. So they pay him $1 more million than Myles Garrett got paid. And, I'm not really going to say it was a bad move because the guy's a Steeler for life. He wants to be here. People are saying we should have traded him. I get both ends of the spectrum, But for all the moves we made this year, it would have made no sense not to get him and then trade him. We're in a win now mode, or that's what they're trying to accomplish with a lot of these moves, and not keeping number 90 makes no sense if you're going by that agenda. So, could you have traded him, gotten some draft capital? Yeah. Are any of those guys probably going to be as good as T.J. Watt? Probably not. Would it probably have led to a quarterback? Probably. Is that quarterback going to be good? Who knows? But we signed T.J. Watt to like a 3 or 4 year extension. Fucking like $143 million, something crazy. And, yeah, man, he's here. And, we need him. If we're gonna do anything anytime soon, he needs to be here. The guy's still the best defensive player in the game. I'll stand by that. The guy was never the same after that Philadelphia Eagles game when he suffered an ankle injury. I'm just saying. But everybody's going to fucking talk shit. Whatever. It's insane to me that people in our own fan base are saying we should have traded him or not extended him because, he's not the same. He's 30. Injury are you guys fucking kidding me? This guy has fucking won us how many games and made how many plays? And people are going to say, well, pull off the playoff stance. That's fine. That's fair. Has T.J. Watt played good in any of the playoff games? Maybe not. Has he made big plays? Outside of that Chiefs touchdown, which, mind you, was the fucking first touchdown we scored. Go figure. In that fucking wild card game back in Ben's final game. He hasn't. No, he hasn't. But can you tell me we'd even be there without him? Honestly, without T.J. Watt, we're like 1-11. 1 win, 11 losses. Without him, our defense ain't shit. I'm just keeping it real. Even Mel Blount said the same thing on Ben's podcast a couple months ago. So you're not going to... So, just playing devil's advocate here. You guys want to trade him for draft capital. Okay. First round pick. Maybe a second or a third. What if those draft picks suck? Nothing's guaranteed. I know what number 9 is going to bring. But, I don't know. To me, just pay the fucking man. I know he's 30 years old. Hasn't had a playoff win. But the dude's made so many plays. All right. The dude, he makes the play when it needs to be made. He shows up in those moments. I don't know. The production's off the charts. The dude's a beast. What the fuck is there not to like? The dude doesn't bitch. Because I know someone else that when they were trying to get paid, they were requesting a trade and they're questioning their franchise's future. All in a ploy to get paid. But when TJ wanted to get paid, didn't hear fucking crickets. Didn't hear the goddamn thing. Just let everything work itself out. And then guess what? He did that. Shut the fuck up. The dude just shows up and works. Doesn't talk. Doesn't say shit. It's crazy to me. It's crazy. The guy don't what is your guys' problem? Because he's 30 years old and you think he's washed? 11.5 sacks. Leading the league in tackles for loss. Leading the league in forced fumbles is washed. let's just keep that in perspective, that for some players, those are their career years. So a down year for TJ Watt is a career year for another player. Keep that in mind. And that's where we'll end it for today's show. Blitzburgh Coverage Podcast. Find us everywhere. Facebook, Twitter/X, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Spotify. And give the podcast a review. Shout me out, man. What y'all thinking? How y'all feeling about the offseason so far? Hopefully training camp we stay healthy. And yeah. Leave your comments leave your comments down below. And your boys out this thing. You have a good Wednesday. Today is Wednesday. Love it. Preseason starts soon. So, gone are the dark off-season days. I'll probably do another podcast soon. Stay tuned. I'll keep you guys updated. We got this thing. Peace.